Kessler relatives. The question of being in accord with life has to do with ceremony. And we are all capable of having ceremony. Some will learn from other sources, but some we can have our own ceremonies. Primary thing to keep in mind is what is my relationship with all these beings of creation? Do I have a respectful relationship with the earth, with the water, with the air, with the plants, with the insects, with the birds, with the animals? If I have a respectful relationship with some or most of them, then I can have ceremony, giving gratitude for my relationship with these beings. And in our traditions, we have different kinds of ceremonies. We have a ceremony called smudge, where we use the smoke from the sage to cleanse and to clear ourselves, and to feel grounded and feel solid. And that beautiful relationship with other beings in creation. We also know we can communicate with the plants, because the Japanese scientists showed us that liquids respond to our thoughts. And if we have kind thoughts, the molecules of the water are beautiful. And if we have violent thoughts, they're all scrambled. So we can communicate with all beings as part of our daily way of being, feeling good about who I am as a human being. I can have that relationship. We live in an area of planet Earth where cedar is a very special and sacred tree. So I can either have a sacred relationship with the cedar tree and communicate with it and feel it, or I can respectfully harvest some of the branches and brush myself with those cedar. And so when I brush myself with those cedar, I can either put those cedar branches on the fire for that energy to be transformed, or I can release them into a river. Those are ways in which we can allow that energy, because what we're doing is cleansing some of the troubling energy that we're having difficulty with, and it cleanses us, and we can be feeling really good about who we are as members of the human family, as members of the life force. So each of us can ask ourselves, what is my relationship with all these different beings of creation, and which ones do I have a special relationship with? And do I feel gratitude for them, and do I give prayers of gratitude? I'm grateful that I have a relationship with this butterfly. I'm grateful that I have a relationship with this bird or with this animal. Those are the ways that we can have a real good sense of who we are as a living being of creation. Give a kiss.
In these times in my life and in our daily lives, I like to take the time to ground myself. And I come out and I remind myself to take the time to slow down, to breathe, and to really focus on myself and what I need at that time. And coming down by the water and spending time with the trees and with Mother Earth, I take that time for myself. And I remind myself of the sacredness of just sitting on the land and being, and taking in the beautifulness of the water, the ocean, the river, the lake. I like to be able to come and just sit with the trees and just sit in silence and listen, because we don't do that often enough. And I find that in these busy times and in the lives that we lead with electronics and with the hustle and bustle of life around us, we really need to take the time for our self-care and to take care of ourselves. And a part of that practice for me is spending time outdoors and to remind myself of how lucky we are to live where we are and to be able to sit and just take it all in. And so I invite anybody who needs to take that time for themselves and to practice their self-care to find something that resonates with you, whether it's coming to the beach and just sit by the ocean and listen to the waves, whether it's to take a walk in the forest and just touch the trees and the bushes as you walk past, or to even go sit in the forest on a bed of moss and just sit there and listen and remind yourself to breathe and just take that time for you and to really listen to what your body needs. for me is my self-care. And that's how I practice taking care of myself and really slowing down and grounding myself. But for other people in my life, self-care could be listening to music that brings them down and soothes them. It could be laughing with friends and spending time with them. It could be going out for a nature walk. There's so many different ways to practice self-care, and it's so important for us in this day and age especially to take care of ourselves and to remember to stay balanced. And so for me, I invite anybody who wants to be able to bring themselves down and just remind themselves of how sacred they are and the connection that we have to Mother Earth, to take the time to come and spend time by the ocean, go for a walk in the forest, listen to some music even by the ocean, and just take that time for your self-care because it's really important.